Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cowboy Tweet Tracker. My name is Paul, and we're about to get into the latest and greatest in Cowboy tweets. We are in week number 7 of the NFL. We are past the New England Patriots loss. It was a big bummer. I know you all were depressed about that, but we're looking forward to the St. Louis Rams coming up this Sunday. So excited about that. Now, in terms of player tweets, during the last week, let's kick this off with Frank Walker, the cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. He's a great guy, very active on Twitter. And last week, he had a tweet out there about how he wanted to hang out with the McCourty twins when he was in New England. And of course, one of the McCourtys plays defensive back for the Patriots. And I kind of questioned him and said, hey, are you consorting with the enemy? Are you hanging out with the opposition? What's up with this? And he responded to us. He said, no, this is Team Darkside. And I said, well, what the heck is Team Darkside? We want to know about that. And he said, Team Darkside is a bond amongst myself and the McCourty twins. So, stand-up guy. Hey, he tells it like it is. He's buddy with these guys and hung out with them last week, and I think he played good. I wish he would have got to Brady on that blitz that they called him on, but I'm sure he's anxious to strap up his helmet this week again. And in fact, I have to give this guy credit because he was one of the first players to come out with a tweet about the loss. It's really interesting. When there's a win, there's a lot of tweets. When there's a loss, everything's pretty quiet. But Frank Walker came out and said, the S, and you fill in the blank, was crazy yesterday. Another one slipped away, but we're going to hit our stride soon. So I like that attitude. This is also a guy, by the way, who comes in each and every Tuesday, his day off, into Valley Ranch to come and work out and try to get better. Also, another tweet on the loss from Alex Albright. Said, rough loss. Thanks for all the support from friends and family. Too many of you to put in a tweet, but you all are appreciated so much. So class act there from a young linebacker we've got in the Cowboys. Now, interesting, moving on to Tashaun Choice. This guy has always got interesting things to say on Twitter. He's fighting with his haters. This week, he kind of fed the trade rumors again. He said, apology to my fans. I hope you can understand in life. I hope you can understand it. Life will change your direction even when you ain't plan on it. All you can do is handle it. So this set off all the trade rumors again. And in fact, Jerry Jones came out, I believe it was on Monday or Tuesday of this last week, and said, yeah, he's fielded calls for trading Tashaun Choice, but he doesn't think it's very likely, but, they'll take a listen. And so there was a lot of speculation that Choice was going to be gone. And apparently Choice kind of fueled that himself as well. But as we all know, he's still in the roster, so hopefully Tashaun can, make the most of his opportunity here with Felix Jones out and show us a little something and have something good to tweet about once he accomplishes something this week. Now, a new Cowboy, actually an old Cowboy, joining the squad again is Marty Holland. I don't know if you saw the news, but the Cowboys signed him this week. He's one of the offensive linemen. He showed up to camp out of shape. The guy is not a real light guy to begin with. He tips the scales at over 300 pounds, and he came into camp overweight. Cowboys weren't real happy with him. I guess he was slowed a little bit by an injury as well, and the man actually got cut from the team. And have to give Garrett a lot of credit. He said he's all going to be about playing who is the best option for the Cowboys at the time. He's not going to go based on if you're a veteran, if you're a draft choice, if you were traded for. It has to be you have to have the talent to make the team. And he didn't feel like Montre at that time had what it took, so they cut him. But this week they signed him back with our injury to Nagy, him out for the season now on injured reserve. So Marty Holland picked up his tweets right away. He said, big shout out to LaCharles Bentley Online Academy for helping me get back on the field. So I thought this was really interesting, and I Googled, LaCharles Bentley Online Academy and searched for some things. Of course, LaCharles Bentley was the center/guard for the New Orleans Saints. He was a Pro Bowler back, I believe, in maybe 2003, 2004. Really good player, but then he was forced off of the field by injuries. And so I checked it out, and he actually runs this whole camp or academy in Ohio, and he has all this equipment. They show you a tour of this guy's facility. He has weights, he has training rooms, he has blocking dummies, he has synthetic turf, you name it. Now, this isn't Montre here. I think this is LaCharles Bentley in most of these shots. But you can see here he's hitting the blocking sled. They've got a thing where they practice striking against the wall on simulated dummies. And then my favorite is this man is pushing what appears to be a big four-wheel drive truck And there's actually video on this. You can see him pushing this down the road. And I'm thinking, man, is this what Montre did to get back into shape? Because, Montre came in a lot lighter. He dropped weight. He looked good. And so, I mean, this looks like really something to think about here, this academy. I mean, look at, it's got Montre into playing form. We kind of wrote him off. Maybe thought his career might even be over. And now he's back in shape. It's due to this academy. Here's what I'm thinking. Can we get a pass? Can we send Alan Arkin up there for a week, or maybe if we're going to inactivate him, David Arkin. If we're going to inactivate him, can we send him up to the camp? Maybe get him in a little better shape and a little bit better fighting form. All right, next tweet: linebacker Bruce Carter. The man was drafted injured. He was put on the physically unable to perform list. But the good news is he is back, so he is technically ready to play. The Cowboys don't have to make a decision on him for 3 weeks, but the man is ready to go. And here it came out this week. He said first day was really good, knocked that rust off. True blessing to be back and do something you love. So it's great to see this guy back on the field again. Although we've not seen him as a Cowboy, hopefully he will be a Cowboy star. The same thing happened to Sean Lee. He started out as a rookie, drafted with an injury. Came back from that, and now look at the next year after that. This year, he's really developed into something, and so hopefully we're going to see the same path that Bruce Carter goes down as Sean Lee did. Next week, Gerald Sensabaugh. This man is all over Twitter. I think he's got like 20 or 30,000 followers, and he runs a contest. So if you want to check this out, you can follow him at Sensabaugh on Twitter, and every once in a while he has contests. One of the contests that he most frequently runs is he gives away the game cleats that he wore in the last game, or I guess in the next game. And he puts out trivia questions about himself, and then you have to answer them. So his trivia question for this week was something I keep in my pocket all times. I even keep it on the sideline during the games. I can't go long without it. What is it? Now, Jesse Holly cracked me up. I didn't show this tweet, but he tweeted back, "Your inhaler." So I thought that was kind of funny on Holly's part. But actually, Sensabaugh shows us what it is, and it is a tube of chapstick. And I was looking at this picture, so, okay, question's halfway interesting. But this picture cracked me up. Because doesn't this guy look like somebody you'd think in high school right now? I mean, look at him. I mean, the guy looks so young. Now, I realize I'm getting older and older, and I'm an old man compared to these guys. But this guy, this guy seems like someone you'd see in the halls in high school. In fact, can you imagine this? When I saw this chapstick, here's what I thought of. I thought that when he looks like in those PG-13 movies, like the guy who's going to pull out his chapstick and be like, yeah, I'm going to meet her after class next to my locker. I'm getting my chapstick ready. I don't know. That was just my impression that I thought of, because the man looked so young and it kind of looked kind of funny, him holding the chapstick there. So that is Gerald Sensabaugh. And here, I looked at the rest of Sensabaugh's pictures on his TwitPic program, and here's one of his kids. Apparently he's got 2 boys, and this is funny, because their mom has to be going nuts. Look at this. They got a nice flat screen right in the corner of the room. His boy's got a Dallas Cowboy helmet on, and he's got a kicking tee and a football. So, I mean, does this look like an accident waiting to happen somewhere? And look at all the pictures next to the fireplace. I mean, this looks like so. And then, by the way, there's another football in the background. And if you see, legs of a big dog in the foreground. So I'm thinking that the Sensabaugh household must be like pandemonium if you go into it. You got kids wearing helmets, kicking footballs, dogs running around. So, I mean, it looks like fun, though, right? Next one. I'm sitting at home. I'm thinking, I hope we really get some interesting tweets this week for the Cowboy Tweet Tracker. I always like to have interesting information, new things, unique things. So I'm literally thinking this, and all of a sudden a tweet from Jason Hatcher comes up, defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. Says, "It's a possum in my garage. BB gun time. I ain't calling animal control. I'm a country boy." All right, so I'm thinking, okay, this is interesting. So his next tweet comes up, and it says, and this is like literally like maybe 10 minutes later, not even. It says, "That's what you get for messing with Hatch. I'm already mad because I've been hurt. I'm not having it." And then he attaches a picture. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you are a little bit faint of heart, if you are a big possum lover, if you're not into seeing blood, I would advance this video maybe about 30 seconds and avoid what you're about to see. because what you're going to see is what Mr. Hatcher does when a possum comes and breaks into his house here. And it ain't pretty. So here's a picture of the possum that was in fact wiped out by Jason Hatcher. So you can tell this man is, like he said, he's been injured, he's angry, he's not having it. Too bad for that possum. Didn't make it very long in the Hatcher household. And I thought this is interesting because if you look at this shot, you are in a man's garage right here, right? Check this out. You got a dead possum. You got a big ass rake there, right? And then in the bucket, if you look at it in the foreground, is holding all kinds of boxing equipment. And, he's got like the pads that you hit and things like that. Only kind of unique thing is he's got looks like pink boxing gloves in there. So I'm assuming that's a cancer thing, that he's doing that to help fight cancer and get the message out. So, but thought that was really interesting. So hopefully, if you're not too squeamish, you've taken that in. All right, next one. Jesse Holly, Mr. Fourth and Long. This guy tweets a lot. He tweets a lot of his followers back and forth, a lot of conversations going on. But one of the things you got to respect about this guy, too, is, he understands what he's been blessed with. He talks about that all the time. And one of the things he does is he's working with a radio station, and each week he takes out a different family, and they go out and buy $200 worth of groceries. And I thought that was pretty cool. And he's got his own little foundation set up, his own little charity set up that's helping him do this, apparently. So here he says, what a great time I had with Miss Sneed. Her story is truly touching, and so glad that God used me to be a blessing to her and her family. And if you look, here's a picture of Jesse and the person that he helped buy some groceries for this week. So I thought that was a great thing. He's doing a great thing for the community, and one of those guys that could be just trying to kind of hang on the roster and just make his money, and he's out there in the community doing things. So proud of that. Now, of course, the only thing we'd like to see is if you look in the background, we've got the Jason Witten jersey, we got the Sean Lee jersey. Is that a Antonio Bryant jersey down there? So, but we need a Jesse Holly jersey in the background. When are they going to start selling them? All right, next tweet here. Marty B, another guy, real eclectic, as we say, kind of out there, always kind of getting into trouble here and there. This is his wife tweeting this. She goes by Gypsy Bennett, and Marty retweeted this. It says, has everyone made plans for Halloween yet? Marty is putting on a Halloween event. You should all dress up and come. And you can go to martybhalloween.com. Thought this was interesting because Marty B, too, one of those guys that you kind of love to dislike, I guess is the way to say it, because he hasn't performed. But here the guy is, again, another cowboy doing community service and trying to get the word out. And I think it's kind of cool because, this Halloween event is happening Monday, October 31st. That's the night before their off day, the Cowboys. So really, I'm sure that, he could be out there partying and hanging out and doing stuff, and wouldn't need to throw, an event to try to help out children and stuff like that. So this happens October 31st in the greater Fort Worth area, so you can check that out. Check out Marty is Dope, his profile. Check out that charity event. Next tweet, it's going to come in our final one here, is from Miles Austin. There's actually already been a Halloween party that's occurred. Brady James threw a fighting breast cancer event, a Halloween costume party that he did, and Miles and several other people were at that. And he said, me and Ayo Aiken, which is Aiken Adele, are at the Brady James Breast Cancer Awareness Halloween event, and he attaches a photo. And I thought, you got to check this out, because this is too funny. Here it is. You see Miles Austin on the left. He is in his Rick James full regalia there. Even got the chest hair sporting that. The man does look like Rick James there, I'm telling you. And I'll tell you what, this is stuff that you're only going to find in the Cowboy tweet tracker. You're not going to find this on your mainstream media. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. And we'll be back next week with NFL week number 8 for the Cowboy tweet tracker. Until then, keep watching. Thanks much. Bye-bye.